I can try to answer it from my perspective. Okay, because we all are different. We all listen differently. We all have guidance differently. So basically, I just try to share from my experiences, and then when you have questions, the reason why I say you need to ask questions is because that's the time there's a good possibility that things will come through me, right? So.
No.
You felt her. I'm gonna start with Hester. I will pick you guys, okay? I'll pick on you.
What did you want us to say? It was,
Okay, just tell us where you were when we first met and where you are today. At least, Hester was used to say, I don't feel anything. I don't know what you're talking about, right? I don't feel. But now, actually, she has all the 12 modules from the daughter's course, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have a lot of sharing and interacting. We meet at different events.
So I've always been I've been fascinated with folks who can sort of, reach that other dimension in terms of psychics and whatnot. And so that fascination is always given with me. And I think seeing it, like through Jacinta, was very inspiring because I've seen how she operates. And I said, oh, that's what can be done. Because I always tell Jacinta she's like a cat with 9 lives. She's almost lost her life so many times, and yet she always bounces back, I mean, against all odds, right? And very inspiring. But I've also been researching and reading, and also really being exposed to different teachings as well. We even signed up for a course in dowsing. So I actually learned to douse because I would use the pendulum too. Because if I don't trust myself, then I said, at least I have a tool to help me get the answers I want, right? And I think maybe because I've got that permission, because I've actually been doing a lot of things because I've been doing it for my mom, I've been doing it for my own husband, like and from a health perspective, actually, I was even able to. So even though I'm not an intuitive that way, I was able to actually structure questions enough to be able to douse and actually get some answers. And so sometimes I even say, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's what my tool is telling me. So I've been kind of going that path. And Jacinta would always say, Hester, don't rely on the pendulum. Just go with your feeling, right? And I think that's where I'm still learning how to use a combination of.
But at least you're actually trying your feeling and then getting an answer. Is this the right feeling, right?
But
so even if you need to use a tool in the beginning, to
but there are some small
confirm things, right?
That or smaller items where I like thanks for Krista for mentioning that, because I also felt a nudge to come to this, because usually just in come to my workshop, and I say,
It's so far.
Because I live so far and I'm working today, it's a big, but for this one I kind of felt good, so I said, I'd like to, maybe I'll meet somebody, I'll learn something, right? And because this is a topic that is near and dear to me. So yes, I did. And in fact, I think even just yesterday, a dear friend, right, because I just went on a trip to Mount Shasta with a good friend, and we come back and we said we're going to go to Sedona, and we're starting to say, okay, what's a good time? So I kind of just said, usually, right, in my normal path, I would be looking at the calendar, be planning it out, when is a good time, this, consider so many things. And I kind of just said, I don't know, but I feel like maybe March. What do you think? Let's just go in March, right? that sort of pop. So that's sort of now I'm kind of leaning more on that instead of doing a lot of the structured planning, which I normally do, because that's really my normal mode of operating. I'm learning to now for certain things kind of just say, all right, whatever just pops and whatever feels good, let's try it, right? And so I think that's sort of why I want to kind of keep exploring, but I'm also been using some of this even with my business decisions, right? Like really, because I'm also, an executive in the company.
And I'm going to stress it again, Esther, that still, even though you use the tool, but still try one time. Just listen to that intuition and don't use the tool and see what the outcome is. Because the best tool is your body, not anything outside. Okay? And if you can rely on your body as the tool to tell you, you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't have my dowser, I don't have my pendulum. You know, you're out somewhere and you need to make a decision. Oh, you didn't prepare yourself. How are you going to carry your pendulum and your dowser, everything with you, all the tools? So that's one of the things. Like, huh? I used to have it too. I don't carry it anymore.
You do. Yeah.
So that's why I try to encourage everybody. You know, trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust your inner voice.
Sometimes I use Jacinta as my living pendulum. Jacinta, what do you think? And then she'll tell me, well, I feel this, right? So I said, I use that because I would kind of, if I have doubts, especially because you know what, when it comes to your loved ones, right? Like it's really hard. And I would say, Jacinta, thank you so much, because my husband was very unwell at the beginning of this year, and I almost thought I would lose him. And Jacinta kept telling me, Esther, I'm not getting that. I think he's gonna get better. And even though at that time he actually suffered cardiac arrest, I really didn't think he would actually come up. This was not so far. It was in March of this year,
Yeah.
right? And yet, if I look at his journey and to health, he was in the hospital for 2 months. And I remember Jacinta just kept telling me right at the beginning when I was asking her, I'm so worried about this. I don't know what to do, right, Mom? And she tells me, Esther, I just don't feel this. I don't have this sort of dark feeling about the situation.
So the feeling I get, okay, when something is not going to go the right way, I will get this, my heart will have this palpitation, and it's like so uncomfortable to the point where I will shake, okay? And but when she was telling her husband, I know that she was thinking that she was going to lose him, but I wasn't feeling that. I didn't feel the palpitation. I just felt that calm. Usually when it's a positive, it's a calm, a very calm feeling. No, you know, anxiety or nervousness. So those are another things that you want to pay attention to your body. That's why I say your body is your barometer, your thermometer, whatever you want to call it, right? Your body will tell you exactly, okay? And sometimes when you go somewhere and then you feel that discomfort, you want to avoid that place really, okay? I have no problem being totally honest with people about it. Like I had co-workers who invited me over for dinner one time, and I went, but that street that they were living in, I didn't feel comfortable. I felt the dread, you know, some energies of it. So I went anyway, because when I say I'm going to do something, I do. So I went, and all through the night I can feel it's not them, it's the area, okay? And I had to excuse myself a little earlier than I would have, because, you know, when enough is enough, then I just decide, okay, you know, I made my appearance, I had my dinner, I didn't run after dinner, you know, like you still want to, you know, what's that, dine and dash? I don't do that, right? So, but then I had them over for Christmas Eve for dinner, and she said, Jacinta, you have to come again. You know, you only came once. I keep coming to your place. I said, I'll tell you right now, I'm sorry, I won't come. I'd rather have you here, because I explained to her, she knows about my gift. I said, it was not a comfortable feeling, and I don't want to put myself there, okay? Another incident where a realtor was having trouble with the clients deciding picking house, because the daughter is gifted, and the daughter is a very strong empath, and she was actually could see and hear her dad screaming, who had just passed away, but she didn't understand it. But what was happening with her case, she was actually, you know, have you guys seen Sixth Sense? Mm-hmm. You know, there was this one of the guy that was adult who was attacked by the spirits. Okay, but they didn't know, they thought he was hurting himself, but he was actually physically attacked by the spirit. That was what's happening with this girl. And she didn't tell her mom, but she just said that she heard her dad screaming. So they brought her to me. They said, "Would you consult with us?" So they brought her to me, and then I asked her some question that confirmed that yes, she is gifted. And then I said, "Okay, I think we can have a private session now, right?" So I said, "There's some things that you haven't told me, Mom." She said yes, and then as she's talking, I was seeing the vision of the entity that was attacking her, right? So she just told me, she didn't describe the entity, so I described it. She said, yeah. And she said, my dad was screaming. I said, yeah, my dad was actually screaming at this entity to leave you alone. He's actually trying to protect you. So I went and did house cleansing, and there was a furniture piece also has a very negative energy, because furniture can absorb. So I was cleansing also. I just couldn't feel like stopping. So then I did protection grid with crystal. I used crystal to do protection grids, and it works. Even the most skeptic actually start to believe in it, because I have clients who used to make fun of her for coming to me. What are you gonna do? Stand on your head and Jacinta's gonna put a lampshade on your feet, because I do alternative healing, right? So, but when he sees the transformation and how she's managing and coping with, fears and stuff like that, and she's happier. And then of course I introduced crystal, and then we did crystal healing on her dog, who was very yappy, right? And that calmed him down, and also protection grid for the house, because they had this neighbor who said they got shotguns. So that, like, everything, and then he's like telling her, oh, we need to, because I said every month you should at least recharge the crystals, so that because it's like, working 24/7, you need to feed them too, right? So she says he's the one that reminds her, oh, it's time to retune the crystals. So those who don't believe can see the result, and there's no explanation. And really, do you need an explanation if it's working good? Why, right? So I'm gonna come to Sylvie.
Sorry, what was the original question?
Share your, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Just
Sorry to interrupt.